Hi guys, it's Zebra Girl, back at it again with the weird videos. That's not my new intro, You're gonna hear scratching in the background, and that's my cat. Stop it. She's a bit hyper at the moment, so I do apologise. Okay, so this is a video idea that I got from a couple of friends of mine, or acquaintances or fans of mine from a few of the Minos that I'm on, and it's to show off my OC collection. I'm not too terrified about showing the OCs that I've made over the last couple of years, but it's going to be like a cringe library of my OCs. And to be honest with you, there's only 2 OCs in this whole stack of stuff that I don't find cringy, and that's because I'm writing this. I'm actually trying to write about them, so I'm not trying to make them cringe-worthy. Hooray! So some of the OCs have pictures, which will be showed here on the video. If they don't, then they're not going to show up. I think about 3 of my OCs don't have pictures, but I couldn't find all of them. So I'm just starting with whichever one comes first. Now I believe I've got most of their names written down. If I don't, then I really do apologise, considering how bad my research or finding my stuff really is. Okay, so I'm going to get the pictureless one out of the way first. Yeah, I'm going to get the pictureless ones out of the way first. So my first, the OC stuff that I've got written in here. I've got 3 OCs, but I'm only going to read one of them, since I only want to read the main characters of the story. So the first OC is a Pokemon trainer. Her name is Amy. Her real name is Amy Ketchum. As you can tell, I'm super original, and she's the granddaughter of Ash Ketchum and Misty. Yes, I do think those 2 would make the best couple from all of the Pokemon anime that I've seen. Those 2 would make a cute couple. So Amy is 15 years old. Now within... Solar! Stop! Jeez. Sorry about that. Alright. Solar! So, as I was saying, Amy is 15 years old. And the reason why she's 15 years old is told in the small bit of backstory that she's got. So I will tell you about that. She's got light orange hair, so she's a light ginger, I suppose. She's got sea blue eyes, and her body type is slim. Her home is Pearl Beach Town. I know, super original again. And the region that she's in is called Alpha. Now, again, it's not super original, but the reason why it's called Alpha is because that was the first place to, say, be found. After Arceus created everything. And all of the towns and cities are actually based off of the games of Fire Red, Leaf Green, Pearl, Diamond, Platinum, and stuff like that. And she has got 6 Pokemon companions, and start off, personal favourite, is the grass starter Chikorita. Now this Chikorita is different because this Chikorita, yeah, great, excuse me, This Chikorita hatched and it was a pure white colour. It wasn't shiny like what the yellowish autumn looking one. It was pure white, it was light grey, and it was grey. It was also born with like tiny little wings, but that's only because this egg was made by Arceus himself. Don't worry, I have gone through most of the story for this one, but I don't want to reveal all of it, so I'm not going to. Her next Pokemon that she encounters is a shiny male Ralts. Now, the shiny Ralts does have a companion, which is a female Eevee, and they were being hunted by Pokemon hunters, or a hunter that was trying to find the shiny Ralts. And Eevee happened so happened to get in the way. But luckily, Amy came around in order to save them, and the way that they thank her for saving them is to travel with her. So she already has 3 Pokemon before she even gets to, say, the first gym. So after the next 2 gyms, I would say, she goes to a Poke Shelter. Kind of like a dog or a cat shelter for, say, abandoned Pokemon that go there to be, like, say, adopted if they wanted to be, or fostered until they're better. So she goes there and finds a half-blind male Torchic. Because he was abandoned at a shelter because he got into a, from like a, say like a Torchic Blaziken farm, I guess. Or something along those lines. Basically, the Torchic got into a fight, and the damage was so bad that the scratch on his eye made him blind. So trainers wouldn't want him because they think that he's not very good at fighting because he's, well, half blind. But Amy doesn't see that. But even though the Torchic has trust issues, she spends time with him, and he understands that not all trainers are bad. So he goes with her. Okay, this next Pokemon was a bit of a debate for me to put into like her thingamajig, but I'm glad I did. And this is a shiny male Zorua. So during her and her friends' adventures, they camp out in the woods so they can get to the next city, town, village, river, or whatever. And while Eevee was out, say, getting berries or something for a soup, the male Zorua became attracted to her. But then when he found out that she had a companion, but this is like a best friend companion thing, but the male Zorua thinks that the male Ralts and Eevee are like a couple when they're not. He becomes the Ralts' rival. And because Amy thinks, oh, these two could be good in like battle together, she ends up catching the Zorua, but she almost releases him because he's really disobedient. So, say his first battle was against one of Amy's friends, and they sent out their Pokemon, she would send out Zorua, and he wouldn't listen to her. Kind of like how, I guess Weasel wouldn't listen to Dawn in the Pokemon anime, and how Charizard wouldn't listen to Ash. But then it really starts getting to her because she thinks she's done something wrong. But then when Zorua overhears this, he actually wants to be friends with her. He still wants to be Ralts' rival, but he doesn't want to be released because that means he won't be able to see Eevee. So he actually starts warming up to her, and then in battles he begins to listen. And then she gets rid of the idea of releasing him because he's, well, a rebel. And her last Pokemon is a female Poplio. So Amy and her friends go to visit a circus that's full of water types, flying types, and stuff like that. But she notices that the water-type Popplios and its evolution line aren't very happy. And when they go to find out what's going on, it's because they've been put in harsh conditions to perform. Like, they can't stop performing until they've actually got the performance right, and that can take a lot of energy out of them. So then she goes to the ringmaster and says, you shouldn't be treating your Pokemon this way. And obviously, like a stereotypical villain, I guess, he's like, I don't care, it makes me money, doesn't matter. So then she says, if I beat you in a battle, can I take one of them? And of course he scoffs and thinks, oh, she's not going to be able to beat me. He's got like, like a good Growlithe and stuff like that. So they battle, but by the skin of her teeth, Amy wins by luck. How does she win by luck? Because she uses the shiny Zorua, and he uses his like his ability of like imitating one of the Pokemon, and he imitates Torchic. So he thinks, because he's got a water type, he thinks he's got an advantage. But then Zorua uses like a really strong move and ends up defeating him. So then he eventually gives up, and she chooses one of the female Popplios. It says goodbye to their family, but promises that once they've beaten the league, they'll come and visit. So that's her team. And now we're going to go into her little bit of info on the back. So, Amy's mom within the story. Okay, so at the beginning of this, I said that Amy is actually the granddaughter of Ash Ketchum and Misty, and she is. But when she was born, she was kidnapped. So her quote-unquote mother isn't her real mother at all. So her mother is a strict businesswoman, but she forbid Amy from becoming a trainer because the woman knows she's the granddaughter of Ash Ketchum, and when he's got older, he's eventually become a really good Pokemon trainer, and people know him from across all around the Pokemon world. But the woman doesn't want Amy to become a trainer because then she can't continue like the legacy kind of thing. So and Amy hates that. She wants to become a trainer. Two of her friends have already said after graduation that they are going to go on a trip to get Pokemon badges, and Amy wants to come. But she doesn't have any Pokemon, and they do. But they've said that they wait for her, but she doesn't know if that's true. So one night, or one day, her mom goes on a business trip. And this, by luck, the Chikorita egg happens to appear at her door. And it hatches rather quickly. And then, out of complete being a rebel and being 15 years old and not wanting to stay indoors, after graduation, her and two of her friends, they pack up, they get food, they have clothes, money and all that lot, and they set out. And they travel to Diamond City, which is like the nearest city, and it has like the first gym, to go and see Professor Oakley. Now, I know Professor Oak has got a grandson, which is Gary. I'm not the biggest fan. But he did, in fact, within the story, find a professor that was devoted just like him. She was a bit younger. She was like in her 30s when he's like, in like his 50s or something. And they ended up having a daughter, which was Professor Oakley. And Professor Oakley is about 20 years old. So, yeah. So she gives them Pokeballs and Pokedexes and even a badge case. She does offer them starter Pokemon, but they decline it by saying that they've already got their own starters. So that's the first one. That's Amy Ketchum. Obviously, unfortunately, I don't have any pictures to show you because I haven't drawn her, which is kind of a shame. I do apologise for that. The next one is Arya. Now she is a Sonic OC. Not really very surprising. So Arya was born a Mobian, obviously, and she is a cat. Like Blaze, but just a bit different. But when she was born, she unfortunately was kidnapped by like a human mad scientist who was collecting baby or children Mobians and doing experiments on them. But during one of these experiments, he did something wrong, and it ended up giving Arya electric powers. But she was only around 2 or 3 when this happened. And when it did happen, she ended up destroying the equipment and saving like the kids. But then when the kids were found, they were put into an orphanage. Now, not all the kids went into the same orphanage. She went into a different one. And when she was growing up, she noticed that she'd get scuffs of hair in front of her, and she had a longer tail. And she also noticed that even though she was pure white when she was born, she started getting stripes on her. So when she got older, she figured that those were like things that changed about her, which they were. At 10 years old, she was almost kidnapped by Dr. Robotnik, but was saved by Sonic and Shadow. Now, in the picture that I've shown you up there, she's got a mark on her stomach, and that is when she was trying to escape. Eggman saw her trying to escape and knocked wood onto her, but she got stabbed in the abdomen by the wood, which Dr. Robotnik didn't actually want. He wanted to stop her, but Sonic defeated Eggman. Shadow saved Arya, and he took her to Tails to try and get her fixed, which he did. So 8 years passed. She's now 18. Tails has made her some special equipment that helps her control her electricity. All the characters have aged up by about, I think it was about 8 years. Yeah, about 8 years. So Sonic is like no longer 15. He's in his 20s. Amy is no longer 12, 13. She's like in her beginning 20s. Tails is no longer 8. He's around 15, 16, and so on and so forth. And things have obviously changed. And also Blaze and Silver are in the story because something happened in their timeline or in the future that made them realise that they couldn't save the planet anymore. So they went back in time to try and fix it. And this is when they came across their friends of Sonic and everybody, so they decided to stick around with them. So within this story, Tails gets an email from someone saying that they need their most powerfulest warrior to go to where they are to help save something. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil like the story too much. So Arya is basically an experiment cat, but she loves the beach. She loves rock climbing. She loves training. She loves like swimming in the sea and stuff like that. She's happy-go-lucky, and she is genuinely really happy. But her downside is that she is still somewhat scared of her powers, because the reason why she asked for Tails to make this was to make sure that she can control it, because she thinks she can't. So that's a bit of her downfall. So the next character is it in this book? No. Hang on a minute, let me look. Okay. Is Amy Willow. Now she is I think it's DC? I really hope I didn't just trigger anybody. So she's basically from the universe of Batman. She lives in Gotham. Her name is Amy Willow. Her alias, however, is Switcheroo. She's only 24 years old. Her race is human. Her hair is black and she's got sea blue eyes. Now, the thing that's about Amy is that when she was born, her back, like the back bit of her spine, was exposed. And no doctors could actually do anything to get skin off because they feared that she would die. So I'll explain her background properly. So she was born to two parents that abandoned her at a hospital because she had a back problem, like I said. At 2 weeks old, she was adopted by the scientist Dean Willow. That's where she gets the last name Willow from, who wanted to help her with her back, and eventually he did. At 6 years old, Dean noticed that she goes quicker and gets stronger out of nowhere. He took a blood sample and found that her DNA had been tampered with, giving her powers. So it turns out her parents, while she was in the womb, was actually doing some kind of experiment because they wanted to see if they could have a child that had superpowers or powers that could make, say, them better. So using her DNA, he made serums so she could control her powers. So on her back, she's got 3 dots, like tiny weeny little microscopic dots. But you can see them. They're not tiny, but they're small enough. And each one contains a serum to help her with her powers if they become too much for her. And while she was growing up, he eventually made her like a choker, like the things that you see people wear on the neck, which is fine. And that, because it had a bell, was able to change her powers. So if she needed super strength and then speed, then she could ring the bell and it could change from one to the other. Over the years, Dean tried to put skin on the exposed spine, but it never took. But the serums did in fact protect her back. So the serums actually made her back better. So it's like they had skin on them, but it doesn't. When she turned 18, she became an anti-hero called Switcheroo, using her powers. Now the reason why she's an anti-hero is because she doesn't believe that some heroes should be, or some villains shouldn't be spared. For example, say if Batman gets into a fight with the Joker, in her opinion, he should kill the Joker so he can't get any worse. But instead, obviously, Batman sends him to Arkham Asylum, where he ends up escaping and everything like that. She does not agree with that. She agrees that if some villains are that bad, they should be killed. Dean also owns a cafe, which is called the Gotham Cafe, and that's like her main job. At 21, she moves out and starts to begin to have a happy life, which is good for her. That is until one night her dad asks her if she can sing in replacement of a singer that can't make it to the cafe. Because Dr. Willow basically has 3 jobs. One of them is secret, sorry I can't tell you. One of them is being the cafe owner, and one of them is being a villain only club. Yes, you did hear that right. So at night, his cafe would shut and he would open the basement part, and he would have strippers and he would have singers and he would have like piano players and all that lot playing for them. But one of the singers became ill, so he asks Amy to take her place. She isn't happy about it, but her dad said he would happily pay her if she did it. So that's what she did. But unfortunately, she caught the eye of the one craziest person that's in Gotham, and that is the Joker. And that's as far as I'm going with that. Dear. So Amy is happy. She is hardworking, but she hates it when villains get away with things, and she hates it when she gets pushed around. That's why she's hesitant at first, because her dad is like, I really need you to do this, and she feels like she's being pushed to do it, kind of thing. The next one is from a recently a really good TV show that I've been watching, and it's called Lucifer. If you guys haven't watched it, I really recommend watching it. It's on Netflix, but only season 4 and part 1 of season 5 is out, but it is really good. If you don't know it, it's about, well, the devil coming to Earth because he no longer wants to be in hell, and he meets a detective. That's all I'm going to tell you. So this character is based off of that universe. Her name is Ash. Picture up here. Her name is Ash, but her real name is Ashiel. The only people that know her that real name is her grandma, her mom, and her dad. She is 25 years old. She is female. Now this is where the cringe slowly comes in with this character, but this is the way that I wanted to make her. So she's half angel, she's quarter demon, and she's also quarter human. Now you're probably wondering, where did all these 3 things come from? So her dad is an angel, and her mom is a half demon, half human hybrid. And her mom's mom is in fact like is a succubus who used to be a low-ranking warrior in hell until she made up the ranks to become like not the queen of the succubus, but like if someone she controlled all the female succubuses. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at. So Ash knows about that she's quarter demon, but she doesn't know that she's half angel. She was born on October 31st, Halloween, perfect. And she has got 2 birthmarks on her. She's got a butterfly mark on her back, and she's also got a birthmark of a brimstone mark on her arm. But she keeps it covered from people because she doesn't want people to think that she's weird or anything like that. But she's also got bat wings tattooed here on her. She's got dark blue eyes, she's ginger, and she's mixed. She's got 2 jobs. She is a trainee police officer, and she's also a dancer for looks. So she kind of already knows Lucifer, kind of thing. But this isn't the kind of story where those 2 hook up, because I'm a 200% Decker Star fan, like Ella puts it in the show, which is amazing. So her personality is that she is active, she likes to run, she likes to keep fit, she is cheerful, like kind of like what Ella is sometimes, like she's overly cheerful, but that's fine, and she's a hard worker. So when she starts working with Ella, Chloe and Lucifer, she can, because she's putting in the hard work, she can see things that sometimes they may have overlooked, which is hardly ever, but if she does, then she finds it. But she is possessive, which it doesn't seem like a bad thing, but when you hear some of the backstory, it's kind of understandable why. She has a dark sense of humour, which means you've got jokes that some people wouldn't find funny, but she does it in a way to comfort herself for some trauma that happened to her. And she's blunt. If she's not in a good mood, she will be blunt. It doesn't matter if she's hurt someone's feelings or whatever, she will be blunt. Personally, she's one of my more favourite characters because I'm actually trying to expand on the story. I'm not trying to make her seem like a Mary Sue because I personally don't think she is, but I know that other people think, oh, she's totally a Mary Sue and blah 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 blah, which is fine. People can think that, but I don't believe she is. Now, there's one more character. Now, I think this character's only been drawn in pencil, which kind of sucks. But this is a character from another story that I want to work on. And her name is Alice. She is a damper, which is a mixture of a vampire and a human. It's not like fucking Twilight. I still can't believe I used to be a fan of that stuff. I'm not anymore. Twilight is not... It's not good. Like, I don't believe it is. Not anymore. It's just dumb and it's creepy. She also happens to be the bastard daughter of Count Dracula. As in the vampire Count Dracula. Now, she has lived basically a normal life for, well, most of her life. That is until she gets into a fight when she goes down an alleyway when she hears weird slurping, scraping noises. And it actually turns out to be a recently turned, somewhat crazy vampire that attacks her. But out of instinct, she attacks him and ends up killing him, which kind of sends her like into a spiral of, oh no, I don't know what to do. So then, during the story, she goes to several countries to be trained to use her powers, which she's a bit hesitant at using at first because she's just found out she's like half a vampire and she doesn't know how to handle it. But she learns how to use her powers, and she finds out she's got a power that only Count Dracula has ever been shown to use. And that's something that's called blood control. So if she was to say cut her hand open, she could control that blood and use it as a weapon or a shield or something to make her enemies be wary. So it's a really good power, but of course she doesn't know how to use it, and the only person that knows how to use it is Count Dracula, and she's not very keen on him at all. So she's also a happy woman. I think she's around in her mid-20s. She's between 20 and 25. And that's all I can give at the moment, because I've only drawn a pencil version of her and I don't actually know what her eye colour or her hair would be. Okay. I'm sorry that this video's gone on for so long. I do apologise that you have to listen to this boring voice of mine. Now I'm getting into the two OCs that are personally to me not cringy and that like I am working on a book for. So, and these names at the moment are just placeholders. I'm going to call them something different in the future, considering the book is fantasy. So this is Kate, again placeholder name, and this is David. So Kate has red hair, she has pink eyes, and she's a very, very good magical creature. I can't give away what the names of the magical creatures are, but she's not just a magical creature. She is in fact a dragon. But in this universe, dragons actually live on a different planet and time moves differently there. So every 3 years for the dragons is about a year for the humans. So dragons actually live to be about, in their elderly form, to be about 250 years old. Now that doesn't seem too old, but for dragons that's pretty good. So she is the youngest princess of 7 siblings. That's right, 7. But she didn't want to live that life anymore. She wanted to go out and explore and have adventures, which she did. When she was 16, I'm not sure how old that would be in dragon years, but when she was 16, she went into the world that wasn't the dragon world, and she became basically a bounty hunter. So this world is filled with humans, somewhat humans, and animal people. Now what I mean by somewhat humans is that these are technically magical creatures, because even though they look human, they have magical abilities and they have magical powers. So they don't compare themselves to humans because they believe that they are better, because to them humans are weak and fragile and stuff like that. So throughout the story, that feels like that there's a massive tension between the magical creatures and the humans, because there is. Now, the magical creatures have in fact been around longer than the humans have. The humans have only been around for about 300 years, and maybe a bit less than that. And they've already conquered like major parts of the world where the animals used to live. But the animals have also got like massive cities that humans under no circumstances are allowed to enter. They are not allowed. The wizards and witches of the world are allowed. Vampires, werewolves and all of that are allowed. Humans, no. That's a no-go. So Katie is, like I said, she is a bounty hunter. And she helps the magical creatures for free, because she believes that this world belongs to them more than it does the humans. She does not like humans. She believes that they are weak, that they are selfish, that they are greedy, and they only look out for themselves. The only 2 human people that she likes are the people that took her in, which was her friend Tate, who's a year younger than her. So within the story, in her human form, she'd be about 24, and Tate would be 23. And the other person that she likes is Tate's father, who is a tavern owner, and Tate obviously works there. Now, Kate is known as a hero to humans and to magical creatures, because even though she makes humans pay for her services, she does get the job done. But within her travels, she has met humans that cannot stand her, and of course, she cannot stand them. But she does, in the woods, in like massive woods, there's a hidden village that only she can access. Like there's something in the wood that makes the village appear. So if someone touches it that isn't her, they can't get into the village. So within the middle of the woods, there's a village. But if the person doesn't touch the tree and isn't her, they will keep running through the village thinking that it's the woods. So it's like an illusion. Now the village is pretty big because it's full of animal people and the magical creatures of witches and wizards, like that have been banned or have been like trying to get away from the law because Because even though they are stronger, they still want to follow the law, and humans unfortunately have made laws that they have to follow, which they don't like. That's why they're on the brink of war. And during one of her adventures, Kate is approached by a few human couples that have said that their children have gone missing. Now, she doesn't mind human children. She doesn't think that they're the worst, because she knows that they can become good. But she still doesn't like the fact that they could become weak, greedy, selfish, and all that stuff. So she goes on the adventure to try and find the missing kids, and clue after clue is leading to something big. But during her adventure, she come across David. And he is a knight, and he's the last surviving member of a very, very strong family. And when they first meet, she doesn't like him at all. She's like, "Why are you here? Why are you following me? I can do this on my own." But David is insistent that he's also been given the job of trying to find these kids. And because they're the future, he wants to find them. And he travels with her whether she likes it or not. And during their travels, they do get to know each other. She gets to find out that David, unfortunately, is not just a knight, he's a dragon slayer, which makes her very, very uncomfortable. But she asks David, how do they know about the dragons? Dragons haven't been in this world for thousands of years. But he can specifically remember a point when he was finishing his training, he came back and a dragon was attacking his massive family mansion. And that dragon ended up killing nearly everybody apart from him. So it became his job to find that dragon and slay it. And she becomes a bit disturbed by this. And then we later find out that the dragon that attacked David's family home was in fact Kate's father. And the reason why he did this was because he found out that this family had came into the world, they had found the portal to the dragon realm and made it their mission to kill every single dragon because they believed that they were dangerous. Now, dragons in this universe are not the most dangerous things, which is crazy, I know. But they only attack humans if it's absolutely, or they attack magical creatures or enter that world if it's absolutely necessary. And when the dad found out that those humans caused the death, basically, of a couple hundred of his subjects and his second wife, who happens to be Kate's mother, he goes to that realm and kills every single one of them. And that's all I'm going to tell you. So this story is going to be known as Spitfire. So Kate is basically quiet, she's powerful, and she knows what she's doing, kind of thing. If someone gives her a task and tells her where to go, she knows what she's doing and knows how to do the job right. While David, on the other hand, he is very, very nice, he's a bit pushy, and he does believe in certain agendas, just like her. He believes that dragons are evil, will do anything to get power, but obviously he doesn't tell her that, or he does, and that makes her dislike him more. But throughout the story, something changes, and he's not discouraged by the fact that she always says, "Oh, humans are weak and greedy," and he's just like, some of them are, some of them not. He does in fact try to change her mind, but it's hard for her mind to be swayed. Okay, so Kate and David are the only OCs that I have that I don't think are cringy. well, the rest I think are a bit. Now, this video has been gone on for nearly 50 minutes now, and I really do apologise for how long it's gone on. I wasn't expecting it to be that long. I know it seems that I talked more about the story than I did the characters, but I just wanted to show that they would actually fit into this world. So reading the story from their perspective is kind of the thing that I do. Okay. Jeez, that's a lot. I've probably missed some, and if I have, I'll make a small follow-up video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try to remember to put the pictures up, and if I don't, I do apologise, but hopefully I will. If I don't, then I will put their pictures at the end of this video, and we'll put their names next to them so you know who I'm on about. So, thank you guys for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. Zebra Girl out. Bye!